So we'll go to next session. It is about Accept the New Normal and Be Ready by Piyush Gupta. He is a program director at IBM.
Hi, everybody. I'm Piyush Gupta. As I already got introduced, that I am a program director in IBM. Been working in the industry for almost 18 years now. I worked with the R&D division, the design and development part of the organization most of my career. And in my current role, I'm leading the storage development lab for India for one of the products of IBM. So that's my current role. And I'm glad that I was given this opportunity to talk in this forum because there's a lot being talked about the professional life today, in COVID era and how it's going to be, post COVID. So the whole topic of psychological safety is very, very relevant in today's world, but it's a broad topic. So, there is various aspect to it. And I'm just going to pick up one part of it, which I've been, talking in various forums and talking to a lot of my people. And in fact, I'm talking to some of the, institutions as well. Some of the new college grads who are coming out, they are also very anxious that how should they approach this new world. So I'm going to focus on and that's how my session titled is they accept the new normal and be ready, right? So what should we be doing? It's a time to introspect. It's time to kind of look at our priorities, look at how things are changing, what I'm supposed to do. So I'm going to focus on some of those aspects based on my own experience in my organization, and plus how I think the world is changing and what every professional will have to focus on. And ultimately, that will add to your psychological safety, right? So ultimately, you will see that it will help you build, a psychological safety if you kind of look at some of these aspects and work on it. Okay. So I think it's very evident that we are in crisis. We all know that we are dealing with a crisis right now at personal front, professional front, and we are physically locked, and we are mentally as well. Kind of dealing with a lot of anxiety, and that is in my view need more attention, because some point or the other we will go out. With the lockdown will be over. Some people are already moving out, right? Some kind of essential services are still working. Mental health of people and the way people are thinking and anxious about things are shaping up. So yes, we agree that we are in crisis. Now, the other important thing, we all should know that yes, there is a big change ahead of us. Things are already changing. We all have witnessed that. We have witnessed change in almost every way of our life, whether it's personal or professional, or the way we are dealing with our family has changed, the way we are dealing with our work has changed, the way we are doing our work has changed. So I would say it's not change, it's changing, and we are going to see a very different world ahead of us, which post COVID, or months or years to come. So this is the next thing which we all should accept. Now, again, it's a very well-known quote that yes, we are in crisis, but yes, this is where the opportunity lies. And it is not something which I'm saying. It is something which every corporate or every kind of a leader is also seeing, that how do we use this time to build the opportunity. So, right. So you know that every crisis comes with an opportunity, and deeper the crisis, bigger the opportunity. And we have seen that how many businesses have set up just because of COVID situation, right? I think we all have read it and seen that we never used to build masks, PPE kits, and so see, this was a kind of a time when so much of kind of whole new industry has been set up in this, in this country, and given a lot of opportunity to the people. So these are those people who converted crisis into opportunity, and that's where we all need to keep thinking that what this bring to us, right? Definitely, there's a worry around it, but how do we convert this crisis into an opportunity is also something which we need to see for ourselves. So, what should we do? I think that's a question, right? I think we all are taking some actions, but what I'm sharing here is my perspective, and some of this is already being, done by people. But I'm just sharing my perspective, and how I see myself conducting myself, and how I, kind of guiding my team in IBM conduct themselves. So that's what I'm gonna, focus on this session. So, in summary, we are saying that it's a time to focus and prioritize, right? Because if we are not focused on what we are trying to achieve, if we are not focused on what is our goal, then there's enough today in the media, in the print media, in news media, everywhere to defocus you. There is n number of worries which can defocus you. So it's very important that we remain focused to our goals, objectives of our life, which I'm sure we all have, right? But but right now there are a lot of distraction. We are going through a lot of distraction. So focus is very important, right? So now whichever way you can bring back your focus is something which you should look at. Some people do it through doing some meditation, doing through some group discussions, doing through some kind of writing. So everybody has its own way to bring back the focus. So I think this is important. Then second is priority, because there's a lot to do, right? And again, it's not possible to do everything at the same time. So it's prioritization is a very important aspect of all of our lives. So putting things on the right priority order is another important thing to be done. So this is something which I am putting all my 30 minutes or 20 minutes of discussion, that what to focus and what to prioritize is something I'm going to share in my perspective what it is. So this is the first point which I think every all of us should focus on, and I'm going to spend most of my time on this slide because being a part of design and development organization, while there are a lot of other aspect is also important, but skill is something which is most important aspect of most of the organization in my view. But I see that in R&D it's even more important. But in general, skill is the foundation of everyone's professional life and in everybody's professional career, right? So when I say skill, and I would add another angle to it. When I say skill, it's just not learning new things. It's all about thinking, being more innovative as well, right? Because things are now, we are in a world wherein innovation is highly appreciated, because innovation is nothing but doing things in a different way to be more effective and efficient, right? That's innovation. How you find a better and efficient way of doing the same thing is innovation. So we are in the world right now. We are in the situation right now wherein a lot of innovation is happening, right? So if we talk about skill first, so when I say skill, it's very important that you build your skills on your current job, because a lot of us do our current job. Some of us are in this job for a long time, so we have skilled ourselves fairly better than those who are new to this job. So it's very important to first introspect and see, are you skilled enough to do your job what you're doing, because that's what is gonna make you more secure on your current job. If you have gaps in your skills in what you're doing today, you are going to struggle in your performance, and that's what will show up in the assessments and the evaluations of the organization. So definitely that's my number one priority, because now you are individually working, remotely working, so skill, and now there's much more exposure of every individual's performance. So skilling yourself on your current job is very, very important and number one priority in my view. Then comes upskilling yourself. Upskilling yourself means how do you build the peripheral skills? Because that's something which will enable you to take up jobs in your organization. When I say job, it's just not about new job, right? I'm talking about the new role, broadened role and new opportunity, within the team, within the organization, within the department, or outside the organization. So it's upskilling should be a constant process for everybody's professional life, and it should be in the list of priority. Because if you are busy doing your day job, like for example, just to give an example, in IBM, we very recently, launched an initiative called Time for You. So Time for You is an initiative actually to upskill people beyond their day job. And as a part of this initiative, and I'm really glad that IBM management has done it, it's a bold move, because as a part of this move, we are not supposed to put any meetings on Fridays. Friday is a day for you. Friday is a day for every individual in IBM. In at least it's my business unit who has done that. So it's an initiative which allow you Friday with no meetings. It's your time. You spend it on your skill development. You spend it on your, relax and recover, because people are really burning out at times. So this Friday is given to every individual every week to skill up, to relax and recover, to do whatever they want to do, right? But there's no meeting has to be set up. So look at it. So such an organizations are seeing it such an important area, because unless my employees and my people are not upskilling themselves as an organization, I won't be able to take up new challenges. I won't be able to deliver to new challenges, which are more technically complex, right? So upskilling becomes the next most important aspect. Now, everybody, I think it's a diverse audience here. So everybody will have to figure out what is there, what is a new skill opportunity you have in your space, and what target you want to take there. So unless you put that in your list of priorities, you will always be busy doing your day job. So it is important that we always look at upskilling ourselves. So there are plethora of information available on the internet. I Today there are a lot of paid learning sites are making it for free. So this is the best time to kind of get all the resources with no extra expense and leverage that and learn those skills. Like we do badge program in IPM, we have launched a badge program. So it's a program which we have hundreds and thousands of badges, and it allows you to do a small test and earn that badge. So it's a very quick learning kind of initiative. I'm sure many companies would be doing it, and there are a lot of certifications available. So look for it. I'm just saying that look for it, prioritize it, put it in your checklist of things to do, and then you will do that, right? So this is another important aspect. Now, as a part of remote working, because that's the theme of this session as well. So when we talk about remote working, there's a lot of skill required for tooling. There are a lot of tools which are being used for collaboration, right? Tools like Slack, tools like WebEx, like we are using Google Meet here. Companies are using WebEx or Team, right? So and then there are tools like Mural, there are tools like Trello, right? There are a lot of tools to collaborate with your teams, because unless you learn those tools, you won't, because we are not on the whiteboard today, because that's the simplest thing and the most effective way of doing any conversation, that you stand up, get into a room, do a whiteboard discussion, and you are done with it. But today we are using technology. So unless I am ramped up on all the right tools to do this, I'm not going to be effective. So that's another important skill, especially for the remote working team, is required. So in IBM, we are running badges just to learn these tools. So we have virtual collaborator badges, wherein the company is training people on these tools. By the way, you can use these tools very easily. They are very easy tools, but there are a lot of important features which people don't know. So it's important that you learn these tools and be more effective and efficient. So that's another part which is about tooling skill. Now, I was reading an article from a Hardware Business Review. So HBR, and by the way, it's a little contradictory to the presenter of the previous session, but she was right in certain context. But HBR also did a study of how effective remote working is. So the debate is still on whether remote working is more efficient versus workplace working, or which one is better, right? So HBR has come out with their analysis, and they found that people who work from remote or in house, then they are less motivated. They are less motivated. They could be efficient in short term because they are not traveling, they're not kind of doing a lot of tea coffee breaks and whatnot. So you may see more efficiency in kind of a tactical task or repetitive task, but overall in a longer term, when it comes to more strategic kind of deliveries, then people are less motivated and less creative when they work completely remote and not given a choice to work from where they want to work from. So this is what HBR is saying, and that's very true, right? And that's the reason I always feel that companies who are announcing that we will be 70% remote or 50% remote in 2 years or 3 years from now, I think they are hurrying up to make such statement. I don't think so. They have spent enough time to think that how ultimately in a longer term it's going to hit their top line and bottom line. Because I personally feel it's going to impact morale, motivation, and most importantly the creativity. So we need to put a special focus on innovation, because people who are doing creative jobs in remote working, they are motivated, but people who are not doing creative jobs, they are not motivated. So innovation is very important aspect of each one of our lives. So it should have a place in your list of priority. It should have a place in your diary when you're spending some time to find a new way of doing things, in whether it's technical innovation or a process innovation or whatever, right? Like, just another example of how we are practicing it. We have created an initiative called Incubator. So that incubator is a place. An incubator, as a part of incubator, we give 4 hours every month to every employee to come and join this incubator initiative and be part of that incubator chamber, wherein bring in any idea, put that on the table, form your team, and execute on that idea, right? So it's a great platform for people, and it's a great message to the team that we are giving you time to think creative. We are giving you time out of your day job to think creative and do something innovative. And who knows if that turn out to be a great kind of business proposal for IBM. Like IBM is one of the high has the highest number of patents on their name, and IBM make a lot of money out of these patents. So innovation, while so every kind of innovation is highly regarded in the industry, and especially in the technical organizations. But I'm sure in all organizations it is well respected and regarded, right? So innovation is next. Now I'm ending this skill area with a quote from Field Marshal Manik Shaw. In one of the lectures, he said that professional knowledge and competence it leads to the confidence, and that confidence leads to a professional security and success. So ultimately, the success and security for anybody's professional life is directly linked to their confidence, and confidence comes from your professional knowledge and competence. And this is something which you only gain out of your skill. If you don't skill yourself in your current job, if don't you don't upskill yourself in what you want to do in future, then you won't be competent enough in this world. This is a professional world, and you will not be confident to kind of take up any new opportunity, and that will lead to professional insecurity, which I know that a lot of people are facing today. I see hundreds of people available in the when we go hire people, we get thousands of kind of candidatures, but and most of them who are struggling to get to a new opportunity, they never spend time on upskilling themselves. They are not skilled enough, they are not competent, while they have spent many years in the industry, but they have not learned new skills. So skill and innovation is a very important aspect, and we need to build in, and we have all the opportunity in current situation today. Now next is discipline. So discipline is as you know that we are all remote working teams, and as a manager, as a lead, everybody is expecting their team members to be more self-managed than managed by their leads and management managers. So uh, when you're performing your own discipline, because nobody's monitoring you, you're monitoring yourself, right? How you discipline, time manage yourself, deliver your deliveries, it is very important. So discipline is another very important aspect when you're remote working. Then comes communication. Communication was always important. It's not that communication was not important earlier, but today it is even more important, because you are talking to your teams, you are talking to your leadership, you are talking to your customers, right? Or remotely. You don't have the luxury of kind of a face-to-face conversation, right? Everything is written or verbal communication today. So unless you polish yourself in your communication skills, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle in terms of communicating what you have achieved, communicating what kind of concerns you have, communicating what you recommend. So communication has become even more important than earlier in this world when you are completely remote working. So and communication is, when I say it's just not English spoken English. Communication is how effectively you can pass your thought in simple layman term in a limited words to the other party, right? So English is just a language, but communication is much beyond just English. It's about how effectively you can communicate your thoughts. So a very very kind of a very very important area to focus on in this kind of a remote work environment. Then comes the empathy. So this is something which is very intangible aspect of all remote working and for everybody's professional career, professional life today. So I was listening to another lecture from one of the army veteran, and he also said that unless we know other person how he is or she is thinking, you won't be able to team up, because teaming is all about sharing relationship, right? How what kind of relationship you're sharing, and in this remote world we are big time lacking this aspect of teaming, right? We don't know what is the state of mind of the other individual when we are into a meeting. We don't see that, we don't talk about it. Like for example, when we were together, when we were in at, prior to this COVID situation, there were a lot of discussion used to happen before we getting into a meeting, right? And that's where you set the context that okay, you can modulate your discussions based on how the person is thinking that day. Like I, as a manager, if I'm going to do a one-on-one with one of my employee, right? Earlier, when we were going to a one-on-one, we were walking together to the meeting room, and that give me a time to see that is how what state of mind this individual is, and I can change my content, or probably I can modulate myself and my message based on if the person is sick that day. I can't be very harsh if I'm going to send some tough message to him. But today it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm just virtually connected. There is no connection. There's no sense of empathy there at all. So we'll have to spend some extra time and conscious effort to do that. It's for others from your side and for you as well, for your manager, for your leaders or other team members. So this is an important aspect because this will make you a good team player. This will make you a good team player, and ultimately a good team player is an asset for any organization. So that's another important aspect in these situations. And the last fifth point I'm going to just kind of wrap it up is with the result oriented effort. While I personally always believe that effort is more important than just results, because if I'm putting in effort, a genuine effort, then maybe the result is not coming out because of a lot of other external factors which I don't control. But today results are more visible, efforts are less visible. So it is very important that we always look at how do we align our efforts with the results, and that because results are visible and people see results. So while efforts are still seen, but today the visibility of results are higher than efforts. So it is very important that we all of us align our efforts to the organization objectives, organization goal, and what result the organization is expecting out of the team. Right. So in summary, focus on your skill building, your self discipline, communication, teaming, and result orientation. It will help feel you more psychologically secure and connected with overall scheme of your organizational setup of remote working. And we are going to and then this is my the second point is what I think, and I think most of the industry leaders are thinking that way, that we are going to witness a very mature, effective, and efficient workforce post COVID, because everybody, the all five aspects which I said, a lot of people focusing on it, and that will mature them to the next level, post COVID. So the post COVID era is going to be much more competitive. So it is important that we all catch up to that pace of change and be competent to survive, to succeed, to grow in post COVID professional world. So that's a summary, and that's how I wrap up my session. And I'll take some questions now because we have some Q&A as well. But yes, I would again say that these are my views, that these are 4 or 5 things which should be on our list of priorities for next few months. And then once we practice it for next few months, it's going to become our habit. But yes, skill building, self-discipline, communication, result orientation, and teaming is very, very important for you to remain competent and keep accepting that change and preparing yourself with a changed world. Yeah, so this is what I want to share. Thank you very much. Now I can take some questions.
Okay, I'll help you with the questions. So, this is not a question, but Amar is saying that I have been working remotely for last 5 years, serving global clients, and find it to be more productive.
Yeah, so I think very valid point. I think there are jobs which are, for example, I think on the same lines, IBM is known to have people who are working from their home offices for 20 years as well, right? So it depends on role to role. If you are very individual contributor, you are not teaming, and you have that kind of role, maybe yes. So it's not a general statement. It's a kind of a more of a on a survey, when they see, they kind of more take more samples. Certainly there are roles which are more effective remotely, but in general the motivation factor, when the teaming aspect is involved, HBR feel that we'll have to do something differently than just putting everybody remote forever.
Okay, so the next question is for from Anil Goswami. He's saying, for new people joining, what skills you need apart mind met to learn?
So if again, I don't know which industry you are from, but it depends job to job, role to role, and every role has its own prerequisites. What are the skills? Like I'll just take an example that I'm hiring some people in IBM in my team. So there's a list of skills which are foundational skills, which are nothing to do with what job you're going to do in this team, because within the team also you can have various jobs, various roles. So there is a set of skills. If you're a programmer, It is very important that you polish your programming skills, because irrespective of which product you are going to develop and design, your base programming skills, your analytical skills are very, very important. So based on the job, you'll have to prioritize. You have to put up a ramp up plan, what is, with the person who is going to work with you, and then proceed with your ramp up according to that.
So the next question is from Rakesh Chandra Goyal. He is asking virtual talk if concentrated to know how we are going as person can create empathy.
See, empathy is a very complicated topic, right? And it's an empathy is something which need a very long investment, and it won't happen overnight. So empathy is something you'll have to demonstrate, demonstrate a genuine effort with the team, and you need to be very, very honest, and you'll have to really demonstrate those instances wherein you've kind of gain that trust and confidence of the other person, so that the person start becoming more candid or open with you. So ultimately, in remote working, as the previous presenter was also saying, that you'll have to look at how you connect with your team beyond your work. How do you do that? How do you connect with them on your, for example, we connect with some of our team members on yoga sessions. We do yoga sessions together. We sometimes kind of do some fun activities with our families together, right? We sometimes just do some morning, early, the first bed tea or an early coffee we take on Webex together. So this is how we build that trust and confidence within the team, so that you start learning what's happening in others' life, right? What's happening in others' professional career, and you show that genuine effort to learn that and help that individual. So that's how you will demonstrate empathy, and you'll also get to know the person where he or she need your help, and same the other way, the other people will know where you need some help from them.
Okay, so the next question is from Chandrasekhar. He's asking any best practices for cross team collaboration.
So cross-team collaboration, certainly one is the collaboration in your deliverables you anyway do, because that's a part and parcel of your work or day job. Cross-team collaboration, there are many ways you can do. Like for example, we always encourage doing a lot of tech talks, right? Or we call it brown bag sessions, right? Wherein people just come together and talk about some common topic, right? We collaborate in terms of learning from each other, right? And sometimes what we say that, okay, we just distribute one topic within the team which is going on today, and just say that come and read and prepare and just share it with everybody. So it could be on technical topics, it could be on non-technical topics. That is one way to collaborate. Then we are collaborating on innovation aspect. If somebody has a great idea, I have a great idea to pursue, I work with, I know I kind of announce and invite people to join me to pursue that idea next, so that I have more brains thinking about it. So we have a lot of collaboration happening there. Like people are filing patents, right? They have a great idea which they think that it can be patented. So they always look at collaboration, because one patent need, kind of, perspective or work from various angles. So they collaborate to mature that idea to to make it a novel idea which can be patented. So there's variety of ways to kind of collaborate beyond your work, because at work you are anyway collaborating. Beyond your work, you can collaborate at personal level through, as I said, through your coffee chai discussions, or you can collaborate on technical learning sessions. You can collaborate on patent mining sessions. You can collaborate on innovation sessions. So there are various ways you can collaborate.
The next question is from Neeraj. He's asking why the world would be more competitive post COVID.
It'll be more competitive because people would be more mature in terms of process learning. If you look at today, we never there are a lot of people, a lot very junior engineers in my team. If I'm just taking that example, they are on their own, right? When they are on their own, they don't have a lot of help which they could get next to the person sitting next to them, right? And it happened very common, it's a very usual problem that some people in the organization have a tendency of just not learning themselves, because they get help very quickly, right? A person sitting next, okay, tell me this process, tell me that process, and they just focus on get work done somehow, right? But today, you see, there it's not that easy. Yeah, you have to make a call. You'll have to do a meeting to. So people are learning things themselves more, right? And as I said, there's a lot of initiatives. I took some examples of IBM. There's a lot of initiatives on skill building. So you are going to see that people will be related to technology and more mature in terms of self-managed. They'll be more self-managed. They have learned in this era. They have learned that what is. I'm guiding you to set your priority right. I think everybody's trying to do that. So you will see that the people will be much more mature when they come out of this pandemic. And when you have more mature, skilled people in the world, then the world is going to be more competitive. Certainly. So people who are not investing in their skill building today, they are going to struggle. People who are not, kind of investing in their own, maturity, professional maturity, they are going to struggle because others are doing it.
Okay, thank you, Piyush. We can take the remaining questions offline as we have next session. So thank you so much for your, sharing the knowledge and everything, ideas. That a wonderful session we have.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you, Piyush.
My pleasure. Thank you.